After a pretty cool intro introducing Night City, I didn't waste any time and got into starting a new game. Having 3 different choices of background to choose from, I went ahead and chose the one that, in my mind, would lead to me being like a tough biker from the 60s, which is probably the farthest it can be from reality. From there, I got to the character creation screen and it was rather extensive, which I was happy with. Different hairstyles, eyes, mouth, eyeliner, makeup, skin types, colors, moles, hair color, lipsticks, tattoos.
One eternity later.
So starting a new game, I had to deal with a rude cop and a botched strawberry. That ended in me having Keanu Reeves shouting pro-anarchy propaganda at me every so often. Even while I try to focus on playing the Witcher Horse minigame, which I would have totally nailed if it wasn't for Keanu's constant interruption. So after the whole introduction section, I do have to mention that Cyberpunk 2077 came out back in the 2020s and I just played it for the first time like a month or so back, so I didn't experience the same level of glitchiness that most of the Cyberpunk community is probably familiar with. Instead, I got to deal with a more tame level of Cyberpunk glitchiness. However, that does not mean I didn't have to deal with my own share of amazing glitchy experiences, like sliding with a bike after like a really sharp turn only to hit a truck and have it fly into space. I also punched a guy once and I don't really want to talk about what happened any further. And of course, the well-known random car driving through a shop causing absolute mayhem. Yeah, so regardless of the glitches, in shooting games like Cyberpunk, I am awful at aiming, so I tend to go with alternative methods. You see, there is a large selection of weapons to go for, like pistols, rifles, machine guns, revolvers, snipers, etc. All of those I just mentioned are completely impossible for me to use. If you remember my Final Fantasy XIV video about using a bow, you have a similar situation. And with the minimal IQ requirement, we are pretty much left only with these options. And with my love of bonking things, I obviously went with hitting stuff with a baseball bat. So after I chose my preferred playstyle that required the brain power of an average household potato, I went into Night City doing all sorts of like random missions, and I really took my time in advancing the main storyline as I'm like 54 hours in and I'm still like only at Act 2 in my playthrough. So yeah. And in that time, I came to find out that not all side missions are made equal. Some were intense, story-driven quests that had me crying manly biker tears, and some that were just great hilarious fun with references to other games and franchises.
Hey! Hey you! I gotta get to a Ripper, man!
While others were, just pretty much a generic fetch quest of go kill this or that guy and interact with a random street laptop. However, even with the less engaging missions, there is really a nice sense of progression with both the upgrades you can get and the leveling system. For me personally, at some point I kinda gave up on the baseball bat because it was just so hard to find a good one. I went with bare hands using the gorilla arms and I just started punching everybody. And playing on hard is quite a challenge as almost everyone kills you in like a couple of shots, so I end up running in, dying, quick loading, and repeat until I learn what order of attacks to go for. And when I finally get the encounter down, it's really fun and cool. I hope you enjoyed this animated experience I had with Cyberpunk 2077, and if you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe as it would help me a ton, and I actually learned how to animate in Clip Studio Paint just to make this video, as the other one I made was just static images in a video editor. Oh, and if you'd want a part 2, let me know down below in the comments, I do read all of them. And have a great day!